Right now at noon, Pittsburgh police arrest a man who they say was engaging in a lewd sexual act near a daycare. We'll have all the shocking details.
We're live at Roper Honda in Joplin for our Great American Flag Swap, the first one of 2024. We're going to have more on that, plus some of those isolated showers out there and the rain chances later this week coming up.
Plus, a protest in Kansas City to ban assault weapons just days after gunfire erupted at the Chiefs Super Bowl parade.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on KOAM News at Noon. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy. In today's top story, a fatal crash in Crawford County claims the life of a Pittsburgh man. The Crawford County Sheriff's Office released details of a single vehicle fatality crash that occurred on Saturday, February 17th. At approximately 11:45 p.m., authorities responded to the crash a half-mile south of 540 Ave on 260th Street. 43-year-old Marco Antonio Ibarra Saraceres from Pittsburgh, Kansas, was driving a 2003 Jeep Wrangler when the vehicle left the roadway, struck a culvert, and rolled. Ibarra Saraceres was ejected and suffered life-threatening injuries, ultimately succumbing to them despite attempted life-saving measures. The coroner pronounced him dead at the scene. Pittsburgh police arrested a man who they say was engaging in a lewd sexual act near a daycare. It happened on Thursday around 3:30 p.m. Authorities say 18-year-old seen in the act by a daycare on East 13th Street. After a short chase, Lalimo was arrested. He is currently held without bond. An emotional gathering in Kansas City, Missouri Saturday as dozens of people joined together for a rally against guns. Some of the crowd held up signs to ban assault weapons. The protest happened just days after gunfire erupted at a celebration honoring the Super Bowl champion Chiefs. 43-year-old mother and local DJ Lisa Lopez Galvin died, and at least 23 other people were hurt during the shooting. During the rally, Kansas City Mayor Quentin Lucas called for change and told demonstrators, quote, "It doesn't have to be this way."
I'm just a guy who wants to make sure that I can drop my kid off at daycare without the fear of him being shot.
Right.
That we can play in a park without the fear of him being shot.
Right.
That we can go to a parade without the fear of him being shot.
Police have charged 2 juveniles in connection with the shooting and say there could be more arrests. Sunday afternoon, a fire alarm caused the Olive Garden in Joplin to evacuate. Joplin Fire say that the fire began outside in the landscaping mulch, then traveled inside. The fire was quickly put out, but the restaurant was closed for a few hours for inspection by the health department and to patch the wall outside of the building. And Flag Swap is back. Our first Flag Swap is at Roper Honda in Joplin today. Our very own Chris Warner is live on location. Chris, how's the turnout so far?
Well, we've already had folks here even before the News at Noon began, so make sure you take time to come on down here and visit. We're going to have a lot more on the Flag Swap. Now, you may remember it from last year where we invited folks to these different locations. You bring in your old American flag, may not be in great shape anymore. You just bring that in. We'll make sure it's properly taken care of, and we will give you a new one to replace it so you can proudly fly an American flag, a nice new one, back at your home. So let's talk about some weather, because we're going to have more on the Flag Swap here in just a couple of minutes. Skywatch Storm Tracker. We mentioned those isolated showers earlier. Well, take a look. Here's the thing, though. The air is extraordinarily dry ahead of this. So you see where we even had a little bit of organized rain just outside of Chautauqua County, and then it starts to dissipate. That's why we mentioned that these showers were going to be isolated to widely scattered at best, but they are bringing some additional cloud cover out there. Taking a look from our, this isn't our camera. This is MoDOT's camera at 32nd and Range Line. Looking good so far. You can see some of those high clouds as well on our camera on top of the Cornell Complex in downtown Joplin. Yesterday, started the day at 23, made it up to 52, so a little below average for that low and right about for that high. Temperatures right now across the area not looking too bad. We're all into the upper 40s, right around 50 degrees. The warming trend is going to continue across the area. In fact, March is pretty much here. We'll explain what that means and again have more on our Great American Flag Swap here in just a few more minutes. Again, come check us out. We're here at Roper Honda in Joplin. Caitlin?
All right. Thanks, Chris. We'll touch base with you a little bit later. Well, 12% of Kansans are currently experiencing poverty, and one organization in Pittsburgh is hoping to help people understand what it's like for those people. KOAM's Samantha Walker has more.
As poverty rates across America continue to rise, people are trying to better understand what struggling families are experiencing. The Cost of Poverty experience is an immersive way to do just that.
So it gives attendees the opportunity to live a month's time in poverty and go through all the stress that we maybe don't realize happens when people live in poverty.
Care Portal and the Southeast Kansas chapter of Safe Families for Children are partnering to offer this experience for the community in Pittsburgh. Each attendee represents a real person who has or is currently experiencing poverty in the United States.
It's awful. No, it's really good, but it's really an eye-opener, it really is. But there's so many facets of it. If you have children, if you're employed, if you're trying to navigate the legal system, all those impact each other a lot, and it's been really eye-opening.
Participants struggle to pay mortgages, buy groceries, find jobs or daycare, and struggle to find transportation. And for parents participating, the experience hits home.
It's no wonder people find themselves in challenging situations when they're doing as much as they can for their child.
Those in the simulation say they plan to use what they learn to help others.
I'm going to reach out and see who I can help in the community. I would love to help somebody try to navigate through where to go and what to do in the process.
In Pittsburgh, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
The simulation was brought to Pittsburgh thanks to a grant from Evergy. To learn more about the Cost of Poverty experience, visit our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. And that's a look at today's top stories and weather in the 4 states region. Up next on KOAM News at Noon, protests continue around the world following the death of Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny. We'll have the latest on the suspicious cause. And later, we're making cherry pineapple dump cake in the Mr. Food Test kitchen. Stay tuned. The death of Russia's main opposition leader in prison is still prompting big protests and policy discussions around the world. Benjamin Hall has more from London.
Protests and commemorations continue around the world following the death of Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny. Russian officials said he died in prison last week, but little else is known. There's been no cause of death revealed, and on Monday, his mother was denied access to a prison morgue where it's thought his body is being kept. Navalny's wife now vowing to continue her husband's work and hold Vladimir Putin accountable.
We know exactly why Putin killed Alexei. We will definitely find out who exactly and how exactly this crime was carried out. We will name names and show faces.
And we're already seeing repercussions around the world.
Additional sanctions on Russia over Navalny's death.
We already have sanctions moving and we're considering additional sanctions, yes.
On Capitol Hill, some lawmakers want to designate Russia as a state sponsor of terrorism, while the European Union considers new ways to target Moscow's cash flow. Meanwhile, inside Russia, makeshift memorials keep popping up across the country despite a new crackdown on dissent. More than 400 people have been detained so far while paying tribute to Navalny, and his supporters say they won't stop, despite the fact that Russia's remaining opposition leaders are now all living outside the country.
He is a very strong person. All of Russia is suffering because we lost such a hero. He opened my eyes and showed me where we actually live.
Navalny's death came less than a month before Russia's election, with Putin consolidating power as he heads for a 5th term as president. Still to come on KOAM News at Noon, we see what's cooking with Mr. Food.
George Washington might have chopped down the cherry tree, but my guess is that Martha was the one who made dessert. I bet she really would have loved the dessert we're making today.
But first, we are live at Roper Honda in Joplin for our Great American Flag Swap. We're going to have more on that, plus, of course, your forecast and some additional rain chances when the KOAM News at Noon returns. Welcome back to the KOAM News at Noon. Again, we are live here at Roper Honda in Joplin. In case you don't know where that is, we're right on the corner of Newman and Range Line Road, just up from the mall, or if you're coming from the east, just up from the university. We are joined now by Rick Brown, the owner here at Roper Honda, has partnered with us for our Great American Flag Swap. Rick, thanks so much for joining us on the News at Noon. Tell me a little bit about what we're doing out here for maybe folks who this is their first time or they just don't remember what we did last year.
Basically, it's a Great American Flag Swap. Starting at noon till 1:30. Bring in your old flag, and we will have it properly disposed of by the Boy Scouts of America, and you can pick up a brand new American-made flag here at Roper Honda. So come on in. We're here till 1:30 giving away flags.
All right, and so something else that came up last year, of course, is we ended up with the popularity of the program running out of flags, and you all have made a bit of a change to help accommodate that in case somebody comes out today and we've run out of actual flags on location.
Yes, we made an additional purchase of flags, and then if we sell out of those as well or give those away, then we actually have vouchers, and we will reorder more flags, and then we'll contact you, and you can come in and pick up your flag. We don't want anybody to be without, all right?
All right, excellent. Well, Rick, thanks so much for joining us. And just one more time, you're here until when, and what do people need to know?
Here till 1:30. Bring in your flag you would like to have expired and pick up your new one. All right?
All right, Rick, thank you so much for joining us again. So like you said, you're here till 1:30. They do have vouchers in case they run out of actual flags here on location. And the location we're at is Roper Honda here in Joplin at Newman and Range Line Road. So that's what's happening right now. Let's also talk about the weather that's happening right now. We talked about this through the morning hours where we had the isolated to widely scattered showers. Well, that's what's showing up on the Skywatch Storm Tracker. Here's the flip side of that, though. The air, especially ahead of these showers, is very dry. And so some of this is starting to break apart as it rolls further to the east. In fact, you can see we had some good showers just to the west of Chautauqua County, had some yellows in there. And then they're beginning to dissipate and break up, and not all of the rain you're seeing here is reaching the ground. What is reaching us, though, is that cloud cover out there, and you can take a look. MoDOT camera, 32nd in range line. You can see those cloudy skies out there. We got a little bit of sunlight here where we're at Roper Honda, and our camera on top of the Cornell Complex, downtown Joplin. You can see mostly cloudy skies out there, but no rain falling. And here's what we're talking about with the dry. So it's 54 in Joplin right now, but look at that dew point at 26. Humidity is 34%. So we're talking very dry air ahead of those showers. So the further east they go, the less likely you are to see actual rainfall from any of this activity. Temperatures around the region, most of us upper 40s, right around the low 50s, but if you head further south, check out Miami Grove, for example, mid to upper 50s out there on this beautiful March-like day. So again, the future track is painting where the moisture is going to be, but with how dry the air is, a lot of that rain that you're seeing won't actually be reaching the ground. And once we head into the evening and overnight, not only do those slight shower chances clear out, so do the clouds. So for the rest of today, again, on average, about mid-upper 50s for our highs. That south breeze 10 to 15, occasionally gusting upwards of 20 miles an hour out there. We'll have those partly cloudy skies and some rain showers. Clearing out tonight, chilly, but above average as we fall into the mid to upper 30s out there. And boy, our Tuesday looking fantastic. Upper 60s, near 70. Just a few clouds and a light southwest breeze at 5 to 10. I want to take a moment and talk about what's expected later this week. So late Wednesday into very early Thursday morning. Take a look there. You can see where we've got those isolated little green specks. That's where we could see a few thunderstorms. And between about midnight and say 4 a.m., we could see a couple of strong thunderstorms out there. But the good news is at this point, we're not expecting anything significant. We're looking at maybe just some small hail, and then that translates in to just some rain showers, maybe a few additional rumbles of thunder on our Thursday. And there's a look at that low-end risk that we have on Wednesday. But again, that's going to be Wednesday night into early Thursday morning for some small hail. As for the rest of it, though, again, we're talking March. It's not March yet, but it's practically here. Temperatures into the upper 60s as we head into Wednesday. We've got a gorgeous weekend ahead of us, and as we head into next week, we're looking at low 70s Monday and Tuesday with some additional shower chances by next Tuesday. So all in all, not too bad. And again, real quick, we are live at Roper Honda, Newman and Range Line Road, where we're doing the Great American Flag Swap. Come on in now till 1:30. You can change out your old flag for a new one, and they'll make sure the old one is properly taken care of. Caitlin?
All right, thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. Well, stick around because we're making cherry pineapple dump cake in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. It's time to check in with Howard. Today he's making cherry pineapple dump cake. Take a look.
Every year on President's Day, it's been a tradition for us to make some type of cherry dessert, as a salute to George Washington chopping down a cherry tree. And every year we get a tremendous response from all of you telling us how much you love those cherry desserts. So for all of you cherry lovers, here's a recipe that's as easy as it is good. We start by mixing together a can of cherry pie filling with a can of crushed pineapple, juice and all, in a baking dish. On top of that, we sprinkle on a package of dry yellow cake mix that we've tossed with a touch of cinnamon. To add a crunch, we finish it off with some chopped walnuts and drizzle the whole thing with melted butter. I mean, it couldn't get any easier. It's all made in one pan, there's no mixer to deal with, and it bakes up in no time. Oh, you'll know when it's done, when the top is golden and the filling is bubbling hot. Imagine serving this over a big scoop of ice cream. I sure hope you'll go online and get the recipe for what we call cherry pineapple dump cake, so you can have one amazing dessert that is perfectly presidential. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a cherry good way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
To find this recipe, just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
All right, couple isolated showers today, mid-upper 50s, warmer tomorrow, pushing close to 70. Watching thunderstorm chances late Wednesday into Thursday, still mild. A beautiful weekend into the low 70s to kick off the next work week. And of course, don't forget, we're live here at Roper Honda in Joplin for the Great American Flag Swap. Come on down, bring in your old flag. We'll swap it out with a new one for you, and it doesn't cost you a dime. Caitlin?
All right, thanks, Chris. And coming up tonight at 5, we'll hear how a new procedure could treat hypertension for life. Plus, a look at how artificial intelligence could play a part in the upcoming elections. And do you know the history of our United States presidents? We put kids at Pittsburgh Camp Now and Then to the test. Join us for those stories and more on KOAM News at 5. And that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us on KOAM News at Noon. Have a great rest of your day.